All right, I am one classes. Today we're talking about point slope form. So last unit we learned about slope intercept form, and we are going to work more with slope intercept form. Right now, what we're going to learn about in this unit is how to take information from a line and write the equation to match that. So we're not only going to look at lines, we're going to look at how to write those equations just given a point and a slope, and how to write that information just given 2 points. So there are 3 forms that we're going to deal with. There's the slope-intercept form that you should be familiar with, the y equals mx plus b, point slope form, which we are learning today, and then standard form is the 3rd form that we'll be dealing with. Point slope form should be familiar to you actually, because we have worked with this a little bit. We've solved equations for y in this form, but we're just going to write the equations in this form given a slope and a y-intercept. So some things to note. The m, all right, just like it is in a slope-intercept form, the m is the slope, and then the y1, x1 come from the point given to you, point on the line. And we'll look at examples of this, all right? When we're writing the equation, what you need to understand is that the y and x stay in there, all right? Just the y and the x without the ones stay in the equation, all right? And you've seen the equations in this form. So let's look at an example starting with taking the information from a line. So first thing you want to do, we're going to write the equation of this line in point slope form, all right? We need to find the slope. So I need to count from one point to the next. So this goes up 1, 2, 3. So it has a rise of 3, a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the slope is 3 over 5. All right, then we pick a point. Doesn't matter what point you pick. I'm just going to use this point. All right, the coordinates of that point, that is at 2, 3. The x coordinate is 2, the y coordinate is 3. So I'm going to use the point 2, 3. Then I'm going to write the equation in point slope form. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. All right. Where these things come from is this information right here. So this is the x1 and this is the y1. And here's our slope. So I'm going to replace the m with the slope. So m, the slope is 3/5. Y1 is 3. So I'm going to replace that, 3. And then x1 is 2. And we wrote the equation for the line in point slope form. So we are done. That is it. So we have the equation in point slope form. So let's look at an example. If you're not given the slope and y-intercept, or excuse me, if you're not given a line, so just given the slope and a point, we are going to write this in point slope form. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. All right, and here I'll highlight things. So the m is 3, so that's going to come down here. The x is 2, so make sure you're putting that in the right spot. And then the 1, the y1 is 1, so that goes over here. All right, and then you just fill in, you replace those values with those variables with the appropriate numbers. So this was 1, the slope was 3, the x1 was 2, and you're done. So just make sure you're getting them in the right spot, and that is it. The one thing you do want to be aware about is when we're dealing with negatives. So again, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So this is the x1, y1. Put these in the appropriate spots. So the slope m is -2. That's going to go down here for m. -5 is x1, so that's going to come here. And then 7 goes in for y1. So just replace those in the appropriate spot. So y minus blank is equal to blank times x minus blank. So y1 is 7, m is -2, and then x1 is -5. And here's where we need to be careful. The y minus a -5. So remember, minus a negative becomes plus. So the last thing you need to do is change any double negatives to a plus. Minus a -5 becomes x plus 5. Then you're done. So that's the only thing you need to be aware of at the end. You take this minus a negative, change it to a plus. But other than that, if you're dealing with the negatives, it's just the same. You replace the numbers. So next one we need to talk about is what to do when you're given 2 points. So the first thing you need to do is find the slope of the line. So find the slope. So to find the slope, first thing I like to do is the line and then the 2 subtraction lines. And I'm going to line this up vertically. I'm just going to color code it. So this point is going to come first. This point will be second. Fill in the values. Remember, y's go on top. So for the yellow point, it's 7 on top, 5 on bottom. Y's are on top. So for the pink point, it's 3 on top, 2 on bottom. And then subtract that. So 7 minus 3 is 4. 5 minus 2 is 2. And then reduce if necessary. So the slope is 2. So m is 2. And then once you have that, you pick one of the points. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So I'll just use the first point, 2, 3. It really doesn't matter. And you take it and you plug in those values where they belong in the equation. So m is 2, so that's just going to go in for m here. x1 is 2, and then y1 is 3. Just make sure you're putting them in the correct spot. So y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 2. And that is it. There's no solving or multiplying or anything else to do there. That's it. Just so you know, it doesn't matter what point you pick. So you might get a different answer if you pick the other point, but it's still a correct answer. So over here, if I use 5, 7, so I do y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So the slope doesn't change. The slope is still 2, so that still goes in for m. x1 this time is 5. And then y1 is 7. So that still goes in there, and just make sure you put in the replacement numbers appropriately. So y1 is 7, m is 2, x1 is 5. And that is fine. So you can see they are different equations, but either answer is acceptable. Either answer, those are both correct answers. So you can pick either point. So let's look at another example. We'll just do, we'll do this one. So one more example. First thing I'm going to do is find the slope between the lines or between the 2 points. So I'm going to color code the points. So this one's going to go first. Pink one will go second. So yellow, the y goes on top, so it's going to be 5 over 3. The pink, the y goes on top, so it's 8 over -2. Don't forget on the bottom, 0 minusing -2. Any double negatives, change it to positive. So minus and -2 becomes +2. So 5 minus 3 or 5 minus 8 is -3. 0 plus 2 is 2. So the slope is -3/2. And I'm just going to use the pink point, -2, 8, to write the equation. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So just make sure you're putting these in the right spot. So m goes in for m here. -2, nope. -2 is x1. And then 8 is y1. And then just make sure you replace the x1, y1, and m with the right numbers. So y minus 8 is equal to -3/2 x minus a -2. We have that minus and negative, so you do need to change any minus and negatives to plus. So x minus a -2, that becomes x plus 2. So that is the final answer there. So that is it. Your assignment is on Edulastic today, so go ahead, work through that assignment. If you have any questions, make sure you email me. But other than that, we will see you guys next time.